Dear students, Namaste and welcome back to a new mathematics session. In the previous session, we have discussed sample space and we have solved exercise 16.1. Hope it was clear for you all. In today's session, we shall discuss the events and the algebra of events. And we will also solve questions from exercise 16.2. Let's move on to the topic. Let's begin with the term event. Any subset E of a sample space S is called an event. As we have learned, sample space means set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment. From that S, if we are forming a subset, that is called the event. Let's take an example. Getting an odd number in a throw of a die. This is an example of an event. As we know, while throwing a die, the sample space is having 6 elements, numbers 1 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And the event is described as getting an odd number in the sense 1, 3 and 5. These numbers 1, 3 and 5 belongs to the sample space because sample space is having numbers 1 to 6. So this is a subset of the sample space. That's why this can be considered as an event. Types of events: impossible events. The events which are impossible to happen come in the category of impossible events. In simple language, if you say events which are impossible to happen are called impossible events. The representation is phi. Impossible events are represented by the symbol phi. Just to take an example, in a pack of 52 playing cards, means from a deck of cards, the event of getting a card number 12 is impossible. As we know, in a deck of cards, there are 52 playing cards and number cards are from 2 to 10. Number cards are from 2 to 10, 2, 3, 4 up to 10 only available. If you are asked to take a number card which is numbered 12, it is quite impossible because in a deck of cards, number 12 is not available. So surely it is an impossible event. This is impossible to happen. Sure events: the set of all possible outcomes which are sure to occur or certain to occur to form a sure event. Means surely it will happen, then it is called a sure event. The entire sample space is a sure event. Let's take an example. In a random experiment of rolling a die, the event of getting a number less than 7 is a sure event. As we know, in a random experiment of rolling a die, let's think of a sample space. While rolling a die, sample space is having 6 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. That means S is equal to set of all numbers from 1 to 6. And our event is explained here like this: event of getting a number less than 7. Event of getting a number less than 7 means numbers less than 7 is 1 to 6. So it is just a sample space itself. So it is a sure event. Event of getting a number less than 7 is a sure event. Hope it is clear. Next type of event is simple event. If an event E has only one sample point of a sample space, it is called a simple or elementary event. If an event E has only one sample point in the sense that set is having only one element of a sample space, it is called a simple event. In a sample space containing n distinct elements, in a sample space which is carrying n different elements, there are exactly n simple events. See, for example, if a sample space is having 6 elements, then there are exactly 6 simple events. Means if you write each element separately, we will get a simple event. So if it is having 6 elements, then we can form 6 simple events. Each element we can take separate and we can form events. That is called simple events. For example, experiment of tossing 2 coins. The sample space we have learned in the previous class. HH, HT, TH and TT. 4 outcomes will be there since there are 2 coins are tossing. And there are 4 simple events corresponding to this sample space. Because there are 4 elements, each element we can take separately and form an event. That is called the simple event. That is E1 means event 1, HH form a simple event, and HT alone you can take and form an event. TH alone can form a simple event and TT can form another simple event. So there are 4 elements in the sample space and there are 4 simple events. That is what it is mentioned here. In a sample space of containing n distinct elements, there are exactly n simple events. Here 4 elements are there in the sample space and we are able to form 4 simple events. Next is compound event. Compound event means if an event has more than one sample point, it is called a compound event. If an event has more than one sample point, each one is called a sample point. And more than one sample point is called each. When we take a sample space here, HT, HH, HT, TH, TT, and each element is called a sample point. And if an event has more than one sample point, 2, 3 or 4, more than one sample point, it is called a compound event. Let's take an example. While tossing a coin twice, the events, just defining the events, E, exactly one head appeared. F means at least one head appeared. E means there will be only one head. Exactly one head means it should not go more than one. It should not be less than one. Exactly one. F means at least one head appeared. At least in the sense minimum one head means more than one also possible. Minimum one head should be there. So more than one also is not a problem. The subset of S associated with these events are E, exactly one head. Exactly one head means here is the sample space. Here HT, here is having only one head. And TH, this also having only one head. So HT and TH, here there are 2 sample points. So it is a compound event. Next, F. F means at least one head appeared. At least one head appeared means minimum one head should be there. Even 2 head also not a problem. So minimum one head means HH, 2 head, it's okay, fine. Then HT, one head is there, fine. TH, here also one head is there, fine. But TT, not possible because minimum one head should be there, here no head. So this one we cannot take. So HH, HT and TH. Here you can see there are 3 sample points. So more than one. It is a compound event. Each of the above subsets contain more than one sample point, hence they are all compound events. This was already explained. Next, we shall discuss algebra of events. Complementary event. Complementary event to A is not A, means we are collecting the elements which are not belongs to A. Then those elements forms the complementary event to A. The Venn diagram representing complement of A, that is complement of A usually represented by the symbol A dash. So here you can see there are 2 circles and these 2 circles forms 2 sets. And complement of A in the sense the shaded portion, the green shaded portion. The shaded portion when you observe, that is outside of this A circle. A is called the set A, event A, and whatever portion comes the outside of event A, which is not belongs to A. So not A, that is the complement of the event A. Let's take an example. If event A is equal to event of getting odd number in a throw of die, that is 1, 3 and 5. We have defined an event getting an odd number in a throw of die. Die means there are 6 faces will be there, numbers 1 to 6. So from there, odd numbers if you choose 1, 3 and 5. Complementary event to A means event of getting an even number in a throw of die, that is 2, 4, 6. As you know, while throwing a die, we are having 6 elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. That is our sample space. From the sample space, we are removing these elements, not A, means we are removing A from there, from the sample space. Sample space is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From there, 1, 3, 5 we are removing, the balance will be 2, 4, 6. So that is the complement of event A or complementary event to A. Simple way of calculation is complement of an event A means A dash is equal to, from the sample space you have to remove the set A. From the sample space you have to remove the set A. As we know that if you consider this as a sample space, from that sample space we have to remove this A portion. The remaining all will be the complement of A. Next is the event A or B. A or B means A also no problem, B also no problem. Means simply if you say When the sets A and B are two events associated with the sample space, then A union B is the event either A or B or both. So A or B means it is defined like this. A also no problem, B also no problem, A and B together also no problem. So here it is mentioned either A or B or both. That is A union B. We have studied in sets this one. So A union B is A or B. This event A union B is also called A or B. So the A or B can be called as A union B, or another name of A union B is A or B. So this is the Venn diagram representing A union B. Means there are two events A and B. A or B in the sense A and B together we are taking. A and B together in the sense this green shaded portion completely representing A union B. Here only A is there, only B is there, A and B together also is there. Next is the event A and B. If A and B are two events, then the set A intersection B denotes the set A and B. Set A and B means A intersection B, a portion which is common for both A and B. The Venn diagram representing A intersection B is you have seen here there is an event A is marked here with the first circle and another event B is marked here. And a portion which is common for both A and B is this portion, this green shaded portion, that is representing A intersection B. So A intersection B is same as A and B. Next is the event A but not B. The event A but not B in the sense A minus B is the set of all those elements which are in A but not in B. A minus B from the set A, if you remove B, the elements of B, then the resultant set what we are getting, that is A but not B. As the word says, from here itself it is quite easy to derive. A is there but not B, means from A you have to remove B, that's all. So then we will get A minus B. Next we will represent the algebra of events diagrammatically. The first one is A naught. A naught means not A, means A and B two events are there or two circles are there. A naught in the sense not A means outside of A all we have to use or we have to take. The shaded portion is here, that is representing A dash. As you notice, it is all outside of A. Excluding the A circle, it is shaded. That is the way we represent A dash. Next one is B dash, means B circle we have completely excluded and outside of B circle it is shaded, that is B dash, means outside of B or except B. We call it as not B. Next one is A dash union B. Union means we have learned it is together. A dash not A means A circle we have to avoid together with B circle. B circle fully we have to take. A circle outside and B circle. A circle outside means this circle completely A naught. Union means together with B circle, and outside of A and with B circle means even this portion also included. So this is the way we represent A dash union B. Next is A union B dash, means A circle fully we will take union together with outside of B. B naught means outside of B. A circle together outside of B. So A circle we have taken and outside of B also we have taken. So only this portion left. This is the way representing A union B naught. Next is A intersection B naught. Intersection, as we know, it is common. So a common portion which is for both A and outside of B. So A portion and outside of B means you can see here B is this circle and outside of B is fully coming here, means out of this B circle, and in that portion which is common for A, outside of B which is common for A portion is this one. So this is the representation of A intersection B naught. Next one, A naught intersection B. Here again intersection means common. A naught outside of A common for B. Outside of A common for B is this portion. So that is the way we have to represent A dash intersection B. Next one is A dash intersection B dash, or that is same as A union B the whole dash. So A dash means outside of A, common for outside of B. So outside of A and outside of B common portion. So when you take A circle, outside means this one will be coming including this portion, and when you take B circle, outside of B circle, so this portion is coming along with this one. So which is common for both A dash and B dash is outside of both A and B circle. So you have to think little bit of logically. A dash common for B dash means outside of A and outside of B common portion. Outside of A and outside of B common portion is this one, outside of both the circles. And it is also known as A union B the whole dash. A union B means we know that A and B together. Not means outside of A union B. Means A and B full circle we have to take, two circles we have to take. Outside of that two circle is the not portion, this portion. So A union B the whole dash or A union B the whole knot is representing this way. And the last one, A dash union B dash. Another way we can call it as A intersection B the whole knot. So A dash union B dash means outside of A together with the outside of B. So outside of A together with outside of B is this portion, the shaded portion. Or simple way to understand is this one, A intersection B the whole knot. A intersection B, as we know, it is a common portion for both A and B. That means this one. A intersection B is this one. A intersection B knot is outside of this portion. So outside of this portion is the entire shaded portion. So you have to go through all these diagrams and think logically to describe the given relation. Next, we will discuss about mutually exclusive events. Two events A and B are mutually exclusive events if the occurrence of any one of them excludes the occurrence of the other event. That is, if they cannot occur simultaneously. This is a standard definition of mutually exclusive events. Two events A and B are mutually exclusive means if the occurrence of any one of them excludes or prevents the occurrence of the other. If one thing is occurred, then it will prevent the occurrence of the another event. Means they cannot occur simultaneously. Simple way if you tell, if A and B are two events, then there will not be any common element between A and B because these two things will never happen simultaneously. Means common element will not be there. A intersection B is a null set. Then we can say that A and B are mutually exclusive events. If you are asked to prove two events are mutually exclusive, what you are supposed to do is you have to take A intersection B and you have to prove that it is a null set. If it is a null set, then we can say that A and B are mutually exclusive. So A and B are null set means another way we can say A and B are disjoint sets. You have learned in sets or set theory. If A intersection B is a null set, then we can say A and B are disjoint sets. Simply what you have to do is for proving mutually exclusive events, we have to prove A intersection B is null set. Let's take an example. Consider the experiment of rolling a die. The sample space, as we know that it is 1 to 6. And A, we are defining an event A, an odd number appears. B, an even number appears. And here, when you write the elements of A, it is odd numbers 1, 3 and 5. Elements of B, 2, 4 and 6. As we know that there is no common element in A and B. So clearly the events A exclude the event B and vice versa. And A intersection B is a null set. A and B are disjoint sets. So this is an example of disjoint sets. Next we shall discuss exhaustive events. Two events A and B are said to be exhaustive events if A union B is a sample space itself. A union B is equal to S, then we can say that A and B are exhaustive events. In general, if E1, E2, E3, etc. En are n events of sample space S, and if E1 union, E2 union, E3 union, etc. union En, that means union of I is equal to 1 to n Ei, this is a general representation, is equal to S, then E1, E2, etc. En are called exhaustive events. This is the generalized form. Here we have explained about only two events. A and B are two events means if you are getting A union B is S, then we can say A and B are exhaustive events. Here we have taken n elements means generalized. E1, E2, E3, etc. n events we are taking, and the same thing only. If you take the union of all those events. How many events are having all those events union if you take, and you are getting the sample space itself, then we can say that E1, E2, etc. En are called exhaustive events. Consider the experiment of throwing a die. The sample space, we know that it is 1 to 6. A, we have defined a number less than 4. B, we have defined a number greater than 2 but less than 5. C, we have defined a number greater than 4 appears. So here there are 3 events we have described. First one is a number less than 4. B, number between 2 and 5. C, we have described as number greater than 4. Here A, let's write the elements of A. A is 1, 2, 3. Number less than 4 means 1, 2 and 3. This is your sample space. And B, numbers between 2 and 5 means 3 and 4 only there. Then C, a number greater than 4. Here number greater than 4 is 5 and 6. So we have taken 5 and 6. Then we have to check whether these A, B, C are exhaustive events or not. Quite simple. Take the union. A union, B union, C. As we know, union means together. A, B and C together. When you are taking A, B, C together, you see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 3 is repeating 2 times. It's not necessary. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is our sample space. That is equal to S. So E1, E2, etc. En are called exhaustive events because when we have taken the union, we have got the sample space. Next, we shall discuss the exercise questions. First question from exercise 16.2. A die is rolled. Let E be the event die shows 4 and F be the event die shows an even number. Are E and F mutually exclusive? Since the die is rolled, here there are 2 events they have described. E means die shows 4 and F means die shows an even number. You have to check whether E and F are mutually exclusive. As the definition says, if 2 events are mutually exclusive, then their intersection will be a null set. If not, they are not mutually exclusive. So we have to write E and F, then we have to check whether they are having any common element or not. So S is sample space. We know that since the die is rolled, there are 6 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Given E is die shows a 4, means there is only one outcome, that is 4. So element set E is having only one element, that is 4. Then next one is F is defined, die shows an even number, means from here the even numbers are 2, 4 and 6. So these are the possible outcomes. F is equal to set of 2, 4 and 6. Then you can see here E intersection F. E and F you have to check whether there is any common element or not. It is here 4 is there in both the sets. So E intersection F is equal to set 4. So E intersection F is not a null set. Since it is not a null set, we can conclude E and F are not mutually exclusive events. Move on to the second question. The question is, a die is thrown. Describe the following events. First one, a number less than 7. As we know, the die is thrown. The sample space is numbers 1 to 6. A is defined as a number less than 7. Number less than 7 means all these numbers are less than 7 only. So A is equal to set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next is B is number greater than 7. As we know that we are having only up to 6 all the numbers. A die is marked numbers from 1 to 6. It is not possible to get a number greater than 7. So there is no number greater than 7. So B is a null set. Null set means there is no elements are available there. Next is C, a multiple of 3. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are there. Multiple of 3 means here 3 and 6 are the multiples of 3. So C is equal to set 3, 6. Next one is D, a number less than 4. Number less than 4 in the sense up to here means 1, 2 and 3. So D is equal to set of 1, 2 and 3. Fifth one, an even number greater than 4. Even numbers means 2, 4, 6 are even numbers. And greater than 4 means there is only 6. So E is equal to set to 6. Then F, a number not less than 3. Not less than 3 in the sense here not less than 3 means more than 3. 3, 4, 5 and 6. So F is equal to 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the answers. A number not less than 3. Not less than 3 means smaller than 3 it must not be there. So 3 and above numbers will be coming 3, 4, 5 and 6. Next one is we have to find A union B. A union B, as we know that A and B together. So first of all, let's write A. A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have calculated here. Then B is a null set. So A union B means surely this element along with the null set. Null set is having no element. So only these elements will be coming 1 to 6. So set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So A intersection B we have to calculate. A intersection B is a null set. Next is B union C. A intersection B is a null set because A and B there is no common element. That's why we call it as null set. Next we have to go for B union C. So B we know that it is a null set. We have calculated here. C we know that it is from here 3, 6 will be coming. So B union C, B and C together. B and C together means null set, no elements, 3 and 6. So when we combine these two, only 3 and 6 will be coming. Next is E intersection F. So let's write E. E we have got as 6 and F we have got as 3, 4, 5, 6. So when we combine these two, intersection, E intersection F means a common element between E and F. E is having 6 and F is also having 6. So 6 is a common element for both. So E intersection F is equal to set 6. Next is D intersection E. D intersection E means D we have to write first. D is 1, 2, 3 and E we are having here 6. So common, intersection means common for both D and E. So D and E common one is here 1, 2, 3. Here there is 6. Nothing is there in common. So D intersection E is a null set. Next one is A minus C. A minus C means from A you have to remove C. A minus E means from A you have to remove C. So A we know that it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then C we have calculated that is 3, 6. So A minus C means from A we have to remove 3 and 6. Means this 3 will go, 6 will go. The balance will be coming. So A minus C is equal to 1, 2, 3 will not come because 3 is here. Then 4 will be coming, 5 will be coming. 6 will not come because 6 is here. We have to remove. So 1, 2, 4 and 5. That is A minus C. Next is D minus E. Let's write D first. D is 1, 2, 3 and E. E we have calculated here, that is 6. D minus E means we have to remove E from D. So here D is having 1, 2, 3 and E is having 6. So D minus E is 1, 2, 3 itself because 6 is not there in D. So nothing to remove. Next we have to find out F dash. F dash means not F. So first of all we have to write F. F is 3, 4, 5, 6. In the previous slide we have calculated this one. Then F dash how to calculate, in the sense we have to compare this F with a sample space. And from the sample space you have to remove this one, these elements. Then you will get F naught. So yes, we have to write 1 to 6 numbers. So F naught is equal to, from this sample space you have to remove 3, 4, 5 and 6. 3, 4, 5, 6 going means the balance we are having only 1 and 2. So F naught is 1, 2. Next is E intersection F naught. E we know that it is set to 6. We have discussed in the previous slide. And F naught we have got here 1, 2. So intersection means common. Elements which are common between E and F naught. So E is having 6, F naught is having 1 and 2. So there is nothing is common. So E intersection F naught is a null set. Next we shall discuss question number 3. An experiment involves rolling a pair of dice and recording the number of numbers that come up. Describe the following events. A. The sum is greater than 8. B. 2 occurs on either die. C. The sum is at least 7 and a multiple of 3. So they have described 3 events here. A means the sum is greater than 8. B is 2 occurs on either die, and C, the sum is at least 7 and a multiple of 3. So we have to find out which pairs of these events are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive we have already discussed. Which pairs means 2, 2 we have to take, maybe AB, then BC, something like 2, 2 we have to take, and we have to find out their intersection and check that whether they are mutually exclusive or not. So first of all, the sample space we have discussed in the previous class. When 2 dice are rolled and the sample space is having 36 elements starting from 1 1 ending at 6 6. So first one, A, the sum is greater than 8. So when we add two elements here, you should get number which is greater than 8. Of course 1 1 is 2. It is not possible. Something like trial and error we have to check, and sum is greater than 8 means 9, 10, 11 and 12. These are the sums which are greater than 8 possible sums, because maximum we will get 12, because the highest number available is here 6 comma 6. 6 plus 6 adding the maximum we will get 12. Number greater than 8 means starting from 9. So let's check from where we are getting 9. So here 2 6 we will be getting 8 only. So of these first two rows it is not necessary to consider. Then 3 1 not possible. 3 2 5 will be coming. 3 3 6 no chance. 3 plus 4 7 no chance. 3 plus 5 8 no chance. 3 plus 6 9. So this element will be coming. Then here 4 1 4 2 4 3 4 4 not chance. Then 4 5 is there. 4 6 is there. 4 comma 5 is 9. 4 comma 6 is 10. 5 1 no chance. 5 2 no chance. 5 3 no chance, because 5 and 3 adding them 8 will be coming. Then 5 comma 4 chance is there. 5 5 there is chance, because 5 plus 5 10 will be coming. 5 plus 6 11. Okay, and here 6 1 no chance. 6 2 no chance. 6 3 there is a chance, because 9 is there. 6 plus 4 there is 10. 6 plus 5 11 chance is there. 6 plus 6 12. So you have to use a pencil and cut the sample space after writing, so that it is easy to identify at the end. So A is, these are the elements 3 6 4 5 5 4 6 3 4 6 5 5 6 4 5 6 6 5 and 6 6. When I just explain, it will be, you may feel difficult for you, but when you do it yourself by using the pencil, it will be convenient for you to write these elements from the sample space. Then B2 occurs on either die. Very simple. Any one of the die is having 2. So wherever there is 2, just collect and write. 2 1 2 2 2 3 2 4 2 5 2 6 1 2 3 2 4 2 5 2 and 6 2. From this sample space where there is 2, just collect and write. That's all. Next is C. The sum is at least 7 and a multiple of 3. Sum is at least 7 and a multiple of 3 means the possibilities are 3 comma 6 means 6 plus 3 is 9. At least 7 means minimum 7 should be there. More than 7 is not a problem, but less than 7 should not come. So 3 comma 6, 3 and 6 adding then 9 will come. It is more than 7 and a multiple of 3 as well, 9. Then 4 and 5 9. Sum is 9 and it is 9 is also multiple of 3. Next is 5 plus 4. That is possible. 6 comma 3 also 9. 6 comma 6 is 12. Because multiple of 3 in the sense maximum 12 only available. Multiple of 3 means you will be having only 9 and 12, because numbers greater than 7. So 9 and 12 only. So you have to check where the 9 and 12 are coming from this set when you add. So 3 6 4 5 5 4 6 3 and 6 6. So this is the main task that is completed. We have found the elements of each set A, B and C. Next we will be checking which pairs of these events are mutually exclusive. A and B first we will consider. Then for checking the mutually exclusiveness of two sets, we have to check whether there is a common element or not. A is having this one, B is having this one. So it is no common element, because here sum is greater than 8 means here there is no 2 is available. You can check there is no 2 is available, because B is having 2 on either die. So to check which is common, easy way is whether there is 2 is available or not. Not at all there. So A intersection B is a null set. A and B are mutually exclusive. Second one, B and C. Cyclic order we have to check. A, B we have taken, then B and C we are taking. B and C, when you check here, there is 2 1 2 2 2 3 2 4 2 5 2 6 1 2 3 2 4 2 5 2 and 6 2. Nothing is there common. So B intersection C is a null set. A and C are mutually exclusive. Next is A intersection C. First and last, A and C when you take, there are so many common elements are there. Here you can see 3 6 is common, then 4 5 is common, then 5 4 is common, then 6 3 is common, then 6 6 is common. So these many elements are there in common. That is not equal to a null set. Means A and C are not mutually exclusive. Next we shall discuss question number 4. three coins are tossed once. Let A denote the event 3 heads show, B denote the event 2 heads and 1 tail show, C denote the event 3 tails show, and D denote the event a head shows on the first coin. So this much statements are given to you and the balance will be explained as it comes. So let's go through again up to here. 3 coins are tossed. We know how to write the sample space starting from HHH. Let A denote the event 3 heads show. That means we have to write those elements which shows 3 heads. B denote the event 2 heads and 1 tail. C denote the event 3 tails, and D denote the event a head shows on the first coin. Let's write. When 3 coins are tossed, possible results are, we know how to write the sample space: HHH, HHT, HTH, THH, HTT, THT, TTH, and TTT. So this one we have learned in the last class how we have to write. Each one is having their own logic to write this sample space. So you can follow as you wish. A. Let A denote the event 3 heads shows. There is only one element which shows 3 heads, that is HHH, that is written. B denote the event 2 heads and 1 tail show. 2 heads and 1 tail is, this one is 2 head and 1 tail, this is 2 head and 1 tail, this is 2 head and 1 tail. So those elements we have to write. Then C denote the event 3 tails show. 3 tails means here only this one, TTT. So C is TTT. Then D denote the event a head shows on the first coin. So first H we have to. So there is first H here. Here also having first element is H. Here also having first one is H. And here is having first H. No other element. So those things we have to write. HHH, HHT, HTH, HTT. First element shows head. Okay. Then first question, which events are mutually exclusive? So mutually exclusive means we have to check the intersection. First of all, we will go in cyclic order. A and B will take first. A and B, when you check, there is nothing is common. So A intersection B is a null set. So no common element for A and B are mutually exclusive. Next, A and C we can consider. In cyclic order, we have to go A and C. When you check, A is having HHH, C is having TTT. There is nothing is common. So A and C are mutually exclusive. Next is A and D, first and last we are taking. First one is HHH, and here also having HHH, one HHH is there. That means there is one element common. HHH, that is not equal to null set. Because of that, A and D are not mutually exclusive. Then B and C, cyclic order again. First we started from A, AB we have taken, AC we have taken, AD. Then we will go for B, B and C, B intersection C. B is HHT, these are the elements B, and C is having TTT. Nothing is common, it quite visible here. So it is a null set. B and C are mutually exclusive. Next, B and D. B and C we have taken, then cyclic B and D we have to go. B and D, if you check, B is having these 3 elements, D is having these elements. Means 2 heads, it is available here. Common elements are there. So B intersection D is HHT is common. Here you can see HTH also common. So 2 elements are there. That is not equal to null set. So B and D are not mutually exclusive. Next, C and D. C and D, when you check, it is a null set because C is having only 3 tails. Here is no 3 tails, so nothing is common. So it is a null set. So C and D are mutually exclusive. So we have checked which the events are mutually exclusive. Then the second part, symbol events we have to. In today's session, we have learned the symbol events. Symbol event means if an event has only one sample point of a sample space, it is symbol event. Only one sample point. Here A and C have only one element. You can see here A is having only one element, C is also having only one. So these two are the sample points from this sample space. So A and C are symbol events. Next is compound events. That also we have learned today only. Compound event means an event has more than one sample point of a sample space. More than one sample point. So you have to check. B and D. B and D are having more than one sample point. Here 3 sample points are there. Here 4 sample points are there. So B and D are compound events. Dear students, today we have discussed events and algebra of events, and we have solved first 4 questions from exercise 16.2. Hope it is clear for you all. I request all the students to go through all these examples and exercise questions. And if you have any doubt while practicing, please note it and keep. We will discuss it during the discussion session. Thank you for watching.